Hello, this is Crinstar, and I don't know if you were, but I was kind of taken back by the PolyBrute 12 announcement yesterday. Watched a bunch of videos, was amazed at the sound, was thinking, oh my god, they have to have it. Looked at the price and going, there's no way in heck I'm gonna be able to justify spending $4 grand on that sucker and bringing it home. I don't have the room for it, and I don't have the money for it. That's like double what I even pay for my computers. So, being a developer, and not a musician, I could not justify it. So, my next best thing is what I did is go into Bitwig, playing in the grid. That's basically just about the same thing. Not really at all. But I could fake it. Realistically, the PolyBrute is a analog, which is, you got analog and digital, which is made up of hardware that kind of creates a circuit. It creates a sine. Actually, this one does not create a sine wave. If I remember, it's a saw wave, a triangle wave, and a square wave, which is the basic elements of like what Bitwig here and a lot of other synthesizers have in vast amounts, right? Realistically, the sound that comes out should be like a sine wave is a sine, or I keep on saying sine, but the sine doesn't exist. A square is a square. Please forgive me. Sawtooth. Let's say a sawtooth is a sawtooth is a sawtooth. The base sound is always going to be the same. It's what you do after that sound makes it different. It's the filter. It's the FX. It's the kind of the envelopes that you have. It's LFOs. And with the PolyBrute, they have expressions that you can do, which makes it a little bit hard. But Bitwig, you got tons of things you could do with expressions. You got a lot of stuff you could do with the modulations here. That also is another feature of the PolyBrute. It's got over the was it the 32 matrix or whatever that has all the different things you can do with all of the different parameters and change things and set LFOs and stuff like that. And they have your typical effect stuff. So it's like, well, this Bitwig grid can pretty much do the same thing, and we can try to do some poly-esque style shenanigans. So right now I got the sawtooth on here, and among the other types of options is it's got 12 voice polyphony. So when you're talking about how many voices something has, it's used in two different type of contexts. When usually you're talking about a synth voice. One of the contexts is that when you hold down a note, it uses up a voice. And in Bitwig, it shows you, or at least it used to show you somewhere how many voices that is being used. It was somewhere around here. Playing voices. There we go. We only got one. One of one, right? But if you hold down three notes, this doesn't work because it doesn't have the polyphony mode in there. So now we got 3 voices. We got a chord. And then let's knock this up to 6. Now let's do 12. Now with the release here, when you take your hand off a note, it doesn't automatically give you the voice back, because with this release, it's still playing the sound. So when I go up and down and hit 5 notes, it goes all the way to like 6 and 7 because the first couple are still playing. Now on the PolyBrute, you can slice up the sounds. They can either be all dedicated to a certain preset, or they could do what's called layer and actually layer the presets, and we could do that later. The PolyBrute also has 2 different oscillators. So not only a sawtooth, basically a sawtooth in a triangle and a square, but you could have 2 of them together at the same time. So basically, what we could do is add yet another oscillator down here, and let's add the triangle. Ooh, perfect. So let's mix it. Let's blend. So you got the sync. This represents a single of the two oscillators that the PolyBrute can actually use. It can also do layering, and it can also do splits. So one side of the keyboard go play something, the other side of the keyboard play something entirely different. You can get away with this with key tracking. Also, I got a couple of videos on that. I'm not going to go over this one, but totally doable. I'm going to duplicate this, and just to be a little upfront, the latest beta that I'm running, the beta 5.2.2, I guess, crashes a lot. And I think they're blaming it on the GUID or the GUI stuff that they've been doing. So if this crashes, it happens. Okay, we're back. We put it into the mixer now. We got two sets of oscillators. We got one set of sawtooth and triangles, and we got the next one. Maybe we can do this to a pulse. So far, so good. So analog, right? A lot of the analog stuff, I think, is past the filter. Speaking of which, PolyBrute has probably a couple of filters in there, and we got options for a lot of the filters. That a lot of them I don't understand. They all do different crazy things. Some of them analog, some of them. All right, so we got our filter in between the two. Now we can have two separate filters going. We're gonna have two of them in the same thing. What I kind of want to do is I kind of want to do something akin to what we've been doing. Is I want to kind of send each of my oscillators. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use voice stacking, and I want each of my voices to send its information to different layers so that I can use different effects on them. So what I want to do is kind of the same. And again, this is probably going to crash. I'm probably going to have to my next video probably will go back to using 5.1, regrettably, until they fix this. But what I want to do is I want to enable voice stacking. And I want to do at least 4 different voices, maybe 6. Now that's 4 voices going. Now what I can do is I can go into here, click on the modulation, and I can look at the stacks. Either the stack spread or the voice control. I forget which one it is. Yeah, the stack spread. I could use that. And then in here, there's a couple of things that work with stacks. Voice stack toggle. There we go. And it's showing our voices, and I want this one to kind of filter it. So instead of using the mixer here, we're going to take out the mixer. We're going to use our voice toggle. And when I'm pressing, see the yellow light, it's nothing. So we're going to put on the first voice. And then we're going to take this. We're going to go, let's do manual. And then let's adjust something like the blend. And you notice, or should notice, the sound's not changing when I move this up and down, but it's changing here because only the first voice is being led through. So we're gonna do the same thing with the voice stacks down here. I'm gonna take this off. Wait. Wrong control. Wrong control to Major Tom. All right, so I don't want that one. I want 3. And then I kind of want the same thing that I have going on here, but instead of going out to something audio, I want it to go out something modular. Modulation. Bingo. So we got a modulator going out here. All right. Hopefully this doesn't crash on me. All right, so we got two of the same ADSRs, and then we need two of the filters, and let's use a different filter. All right, still no voices. That's fine. That's exactly what we want. And crash. No, I just lost my... Oh, I didn't restore it because I hit cancel. Okay. I was in the mood last night, so I'm gonna just load up something I was working on to get us back to where we're at. Bitwig crashed. I lost my work, but I'm gonna go to something I was working on last night. It's a little different, but kind of the same. So I got the sawtooth going into a comb, going into a host, going to a mixer, going into a voice toggle, which is only doing the first one, then going out. And then I want pulse that goes into voice toggle for the third one, goes out. That goes to the filter plus, which goes into this reverb plate. And I am going for a pad type sound if you can't figure it out. I was trying to figure out how to do some layering. And then this palindrome is a weird little thing. This is for... Oh, that's why it's not sounding. This is kind of for something of the ear candy type of realm. I'm gonna take it out for now because it doesn't have access to the samples at the moment. Until this crashes again, and then I'll get it in there. But we can use other things to make it interesting, like a... Let's keep it within the same type of synth type style, and then let's use... Very Patty-like. Very bright, which is it's something that I normally don't do. Normally. So let's go back there. Let's open up the instrument layer again. Let's look at this filter. Take out the filter. Overall, cool stuff. I was messing around with it quite a bit last night. I was having a ball, all inspired by the PolyBrute stuff that came out, and it's like, well, can't afford it, but I could do certain things in there that's kind of like it. So I had a sawtooth and a pulse or a square wave plug. I used the thing to adjust, as you could probably see, dang near everything. And it's got a really long release. Of course, this is really wild and strange. Fun stuff. Realistically, I think a lot of the work outside of this, the plate and the filter is doing a lot. There's still something coming through. It's kind of weird. What am I missing? It's just the PolyGrid that comes out the effects. Go the DC offset. Oh, the delay. I forgot about the delay. And the massive amount of reverb. There we go. Yeah, that's right. I got a pitch shifted delay in there. And then I got some wild reverb. Only problem with sound design is it always comes out freaky sounding. Never something as simple as a pluck. Alright, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I will catch you later, and hopefully this thing doesn't crash on me again. Thank you!